We're live. Apologize, 2 minutes late, but glad for those of you who will be joining here. If you're live, feel free to ask your questions, and if you're watching the replay, you can ask questions as well. Also want to point out that in the description, there's a link that you can use, and that will notify you. We'll send out messages via Messenger to let you know when we're live, so you can join the discussion. So today we're going to be talking about lies. This is day 2 of 5 days to hacking your brain. This is foundational stuff that we need to do so that we can have the results that we want to have in our business or life. A lot of times we find ourselves procrastinating on things and not getting things done. There's a lot of reasons that it can be, but one of the reasons can be stuff that's going on in our head. In fact, most likely that's what it is. And so when we can tackle these things down at their foundation, then we have a much better chance of being successful at it. So let's get into it for today. Actually, let me just do a recap of yesterday real quick, and then I'll get into today's. So yesterday, I talked about how powerful our brain was, and I shared a story about some gentlemen and how just over a short period of time, they were able to change their physiology based on their environment and the things that they were saying. So pretty significant. And I share that with you as an illustration of the power that we do have to be able to change what's going on in the gray matter up here. That's been my journey over the last few years, and so I want to share that with you so that you can have more success, improve your income, and have a greater impact and serve more people. All about serving. So today I'm going to serve you with lies. No, hopefully I'm not telling you any lies, but we have been lied to. And it started early on in life as children. And you know what? Most likely, if you're a parent, you've probably lied to your children as well. You'd have the tendency to pass these lies on over time. So I'm going to use one that's a little different than you might think. How many people have heard this phrase, money doesn't grow on trees? I know I have. Well, reality is, if it's paper money, in a way, it did grow on a tree, right? Because the wood or the pulp that they used to make the paper grew on a tree or somewhere. So that statement in of itself isn't actually true. Other things that we may be told, maybe we were told, oh, you can't do that, right? Maybe we shared a dream or something we wanted to do, and somebody said, oh, you can't do that. And what they were really trying to do is they were trying to protect us, because they were looking at their circumstances, their understanding of the world, and based on that, they felt, oh, you can't do that, and they didn't want you to be disappointed or hurt when you didn't achieve that. So they would say, oh, well, you can't do that because of XYZ reasons. If you were to examine those reasons, you might find out that, well, no, you probably could have done it. Would it take work? Yes. Would it be easy? Maybe not. Would it take effort? Yes. But it doesn't mean it couldn't be done. Looking back at my childhood, as I've been pondering it of late, not necessarily to drag my parents through the mud or anything, or even blame things on them, but so that I can reprogram my brain and change things, is realizing that when my parents got married, they were both teenagers still. I think they were just 19 when they had me, and neither one of them had a very good home life. My father was raised by a single mother, and then in his adolescence was shipped off to his dad, who, from what I understand, was not a very nice person. He worked a hard life on a lobster boat in Catalina. Probably suffered some abuse there at the hands of his father, and definitely teachings totally incongruent with what he had been raised with his mother, which would create a lot of confusion. My mother grew up with an alcohol, also with a single mother, alcoholic, binge drinking, never knew what she was going to expect when she got home. So they got married. They got pregnant first, then they had me. They got married, and you know, they were young. They didn't know. I mean, I'm sure they did the best that they could. They were doing the best they could at the time. But a lot of the messages that they gave to me were messages that probably weren't serving them very well in their life, from their home life. So we grow up thinking things. Maybe we think we're not worth it. Maybe we think we can't do things. Maybe we're told we're lazy, or we're slow, or any number, awkward. You know, there's any number of things we might be told as we're growing up. And when we're little, we don't know any different, so we believe it. The problem is we keep believing it as we get older, and it's just not true. You know, I believe we're spiritual beings, that we were created by a divine creator, that he created us in his image. That is so much more empowering than maybe a way that I have behaved at one time or another. One lie that I believed over time was that I was slow. And yes, I've moved slowly at times, but I've also moved quickly at times. And how I'm moving is not who I am, right? So we need to be very careful about taking on the identity of these lies. We also need to become aware of them so that we can reprogram ourselves into a truth, something that's true. The other thing recently that I've been discovering is sometimes we might not know what the lie is. So I don't remember all of the things that I was told when I was a kid, but based on the emotions and the feelings that I have fallen into on autopilot, would indicate that there are probably some other lies there that I'm not knowing. So even if we don't know what they are, we can just tell our brain that it's not true. There have been times where I'll be taking a walk and I'm just kind of feeling, well, I don't know what all of those feelings are coming from. Some of it could be labels that I'm using, but some of it could be some messages from my youth. And so I will just tell myself that those lies that I was told early on are not true. And even just in stating that, it's just uplifting, kind of empowering, helps you be able to, you know, change your posture. Changing our posture is a way to come against that stuff as well. So my encouragement for you today is to start paying attention to the things that you're saying to yourself in your head, and see, is any of it based on things that other people have said to you in your past? Maybe parents, maybe siblings, maybe people from school, people from work, friends, enemies, frenemies, any of those. And just examine what they were saying. Where, you know, if you want to take it further, you could say, you know, well, where were they coming from? You know, maybe they were coming from a place of their own unbeliefs and fears and wanting to protect you. And where they're coming from is only really beneficial for you, and just being able to take that lie and turning it around to a truth, and acknowledging what the truth is in that situation, and not, you know, what you were told. So I kind of shared that a little bit here earlier with, you know, the lie that I was told with, you know, slow. Well, the truth is I've been slow and I've been fast, but neither one of those is my identity and who I am. I have the capacity to operate at whichever speed I choose. So that empowers me, enables me to move forward. One other thought I had as I was on my way here for this today is, well, people have lied to us. This society lies to us. News lies to us. Again, not always intentionally, just misguided beliefs, if you will. There is somebody that, or something that doesn't lie to us, or doesn't want to lie to us, and that's our brain. And so when we're trying to accomplish something or move in a direction and we're not getting there, something that we're telling ourselves or something that we're saying is not congruent with what we want. And our brain is always going to try and make us congruent with what we tell it to do. So it will not lie to us. So if you're not moving forward, again, you need to examine, what are you telling yourself? What are you telling your brain? Because you may be saying one thing consciously, but there's a program running in the background that's saying something different, and that's why the brain is operating where it's at. So that's my encouragement for you today, is to look at the lies you've been told. We don't need to get angry or upset with the people who told it to us. Again, they were doing the best that they could. Somebody probably told it to them, or at some level they believed it themselves. And so they were just continuing to share that. But learning what it is, examining it so that you can reframe it and turn it around. And again, this is foundational, so that areas in your life where you're not progressing, these are some of those foundation pieces that are going to help, so that when you do attempt to implement different tactics and tools and things, you'll have more success by doing this. There's one other thing I wanted to mention, that in September I have a group class called Renewing Your Mind, a transformational collaborative. There's room for a limited number of people. If that's something that you're interested in, please put a comment in the comments, or message me, and I'll make sure I get that information to you, so that you can dig a little bit deeper into this, and we can work as a collaborative group of people, helping each other to retrain and reprogram ourselves, so that we can be more successful, whatever success is looking like for you, have a greater impact on those around us and on ourselves, and just be overall profitable and adding value to the world and to our lives and the lives of those we care about. That's the goal. And I encourage you to figure out those lies. If you're willing and brave, you can share some of them here. That would be awesome. And I will see you tomorrow at 11 o'clock. Remember to hit the notification link in the description if you want to get notified via Messenger. Thanks.